Hey all, welcome to module 2 of day 8. In this video, we are going to see about a hands-on on list methods in Python. In part 1, we have seen what is list. List is an mutable data type in Python where we could make changes, and that is specifically used in a scenario wherever we need to make changes to that particular data type in future. So if you have that need, then list is a go-to data type for that. Yeah. Now let's get into the list methods in Python. The first list method is append. This is how generally a list data type would look like. First, you will create a variable name called lst. So variable name could be created as per your requirement. So inside a variable, I'm storing a list of all values. To create a list, this is the syntax. Open bracket, close bracket, open square bracket, open close square bracket, inside which I'll be storing a list of all elements. I've mentioned in the previous video, the speciality about list is you can store any elements. It might be of any data type. And that is why it is called as heterogeneous. See, in this list, I have stored numbers and also a string data type. And list is capable of storing a data of different types. So in this existing list, I have 4 elements. I'm just trying to add one element. If I just want to add one element to my existing list, then I will be using a list method called dot append. For that, what I'll be doing is I'll be calling that list and I'll be using a syntax of dot append, and I'm adding this element 4 into that method which I need to add to this existing list. So the output is looking like this. When you run this cell, this is the output that you could get. Even if I want to add a string, is it possible? So we already have hi. So let's consider adding another string. Is it possible? Yes, it is, because list is capable of having any data type when it comes to list of all elements. That is special about list data type in Python. Next to which we have clear as a list method. What the name conveys. Let's guess what it might be. What is the use of clear? Clear is generally used for removing all the elements from my list and making that list as an empty list. So inside this list, I have 1, 2, and 3. So first, I'm trying to print the list for a reason. I'm seeing what is inside the list. Next to which, I am using list.clear. I mean the variable name dot clear. This will remove all the elements from this list. Now the list will be empty. After which, if I try to print the list would be empty. We'll just have open square bracket and close square bracket, inside which you'll just be having a space. So at the first line, you will have this list of all elements, and the second line, we do have an empty list. That is how clear data type in Python list works. Copy. This is most important list method. In real life, let's consider you are creating a list of all elements for a certain project and storing some data into it. One of your team member accidentally deleted that list or made any changes, but you want the exact list same back. What you'll be doing? You'll be under pressure at the time. You might be clueless. So if you create a copy of a file, it is simple. You just, if you don't want to miss a file, what you'll be doing in your laptop or in your computer, you'll just create a copy of it and you could store that to Google Drive, or you could store that to a folder which is important, right? Similar to that, in list, just by using a dot copy string method, I mean list method, you could create a copy of that list, and inside another variable, I'm storing it. If I miss this list or someone changes the value of this list, I could just call this list and I will have the exact same list copy inside this variable. That is the use of list copy. So let's see how it works. So first I'm trying to print the same exact list, inside which I have 1, 2 and 3, and for the next time I'm trying to copy that list to another variable new list by list.copy. So inside both the lists I have the same values. Now if I try to print them, I should see the same elements getting printed 2 times. Yeah, that is the use of copy list method on Python. Count. In string method, we have seen this count, right? What is the use of it? It will count the number of times that particular letter or particular element is appearing. The same exact purpose, for the same exact purpose, we are using the count here. So in this list of all values, I'm just trying to check out how many times my particular value 2 is appearing. So see the output? As it is being appeared 2 times, the output is 2. If I have any other values like 3, I'm having 3 times here. I'm just trying to check out how many times I do have 3 here. What would be the output? Yes, you are right. Next, we have extend. Extend is generally used for adding 2 elements, or it could be added for, it could be used specifically for combining 2 different lists. If I already have a list that got stored into a variable, and if I'm just trying to store a list of all elements to that existing list, I need to combine them, right? For combining, or in string, we have seen a method called concatenation. In list, the same method is used as extend. I'm just combining another list to this existing list. That is the purpose of extend. So in the first existing list, I have 1 and 2 as a value. In another list, I have 3 and 4 as a value. Look at this syntax clearly. So for other methods, we haven't used the square bracket inside this list method. But here we are using it. Why? Because this is another list. It is not just an element. I'm trying to combine another list to the existing list. That is the purpose of extend list method in Python. So the final output be like 1, 2, 3 and 4 because both the lists got merged. Even if I want to store any string into it, is it possible to add a string like A? What would be the output? Yes, again you guessed it right. Index. In string method, we have seen index 2 times, right? In L index, R index, and index, and the difference between index and find in the previous video. I mean, on day A, and today it is day 9, I guess. So we have seen the differences between find and index in string clearly. Index could be used when the error doesn't matter, when I search for an element that is not there. But find could be used when I search for an element and that element is not there on that particular string. It will return an output as -1. So it says that whenever I do not want error as an output, instead of index, I'll be using find. But in Python list method, we do not have something that could replace index. We just have index. So if I want to search a particular element from a list, what I'll be using is I'll be using index to check out at which index my particular list got stored. So this is on the first index. Even for list, the index value starts with 0. So the first element's index is index value is 0. And for the second element, the index value is 1. And for the third element, it is followed by that 2, 0, 1 and 2. That is how the index in Python list works. Similar to string, but there we had element wise index. But here it is that like inside a list we do have the values, right? So based on that, we'll be seeing index. Next, we have insert. What it might be the use? The insert is specifically used in Python for inserting a particular element at a particular index. So here I mentioned the index value. So this is the syntax for it. After calling this insert list method, I'll be mentioning that index value. Next to which I'll be adding the element that I should add at that particular index. So here I have 1, 2 and 4. 1 is on the 0th index and 2 is on the 1th index and 4 is on the 2nd index. When I mentioned I need to insert a particular element at 2nd index and the element on the 2nd index will automatically move to the 3rd index, and on 2nd index this 3 value will get stored. And the output would be looking like this. This is the use of insert list method in Python. Next we do have pop. Pop is specifically used for removing an element from a particular index. As similar to how we could insert an element based on index value, we could remove an element based on index value. If I mention 1 as an index value, the element that is present on that particular index will get removed from existing list. And the output would be like 10 and 30 for a reason. The element on the first index got removed. So now here 20 got removed, and that is why we have 10 and 30 here. Remove. So if I have pop, what is the use of remove then? Pop is used for removing an element based on index, and remove is used for removing the exact element. If I have list of all elements like this and I want to remove a particular element, I could exactly call the same element itself instead of mentioning the location. So in this list of all elements, I'm trying to remove B by calling that inside my dot remove list method. So the output would be A, C, B. No, A, So the remove specifically removes the element at the first appearance. It will not remove the same B that appears on the last time. So here B appears twice, right? But it didn't remove B that appears at the last time. It just removes once. That is the use of this remove list method. Next to which we have reverse. What might be the use of reverse? It is just going to give us a reversed value. So if I have 1, 2 and 3, it will give me the output in descending order. I will have output as 3, 2 and 1. Let's see if I am right. Yes, exactly. That is how reverse list method in Python works. And finally, we are coming to the end. Short. What it would be? It is arranging the elements in ascending order. The straight opposite to reverse. If I have elements like this, which is messy in order, it will arrange them in ascending order. Smaller element on the first. Next to which we'll having elements on following order 1, 2 and 3. This is the use of short list method in Python. If you do have any doubts, without hesitation, you can post them on the comments, and every questions and every doubts will be answered. I could assure that. And if you're watching my channel for the first time, make sure you subscribe it, because in this channel I'm posting a full AI course in Tamil and in English. Yes, if you haven't subscribed it, make sure you subscribe it. Bye for now.